I am so excited to welcome Amy Upchurch, the founder and CEO of Pink Stork, which is a wellness brand committed to empowering women through science-backed products and a supportive community. Amy has an incredible story of faith, perseverance, and determination that spurred the creation of her business as she was growing her family. What began as a desperate search for natural solutions turned into a divine calling to help other women facing similar struggles. Pink Stork has grown from a small startup into a globally recognized name in the women's wellness space, offering 100 natural and organic products. Amy is also the proud mom of 6 beautiful children. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to dive into how in the world you manage a thriving business and 6 beautiful blonde children.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice. I'm so excited to be a part of this.
Me too. I really, really appreciate it. We're definitely in the early stages of what this podcast is and what it will continue to be, but I think it's a really important conversation. One of my favorite things is not only having successful women on the show who are successful business leaders and moms, but you're also a military spouse or you are a spouse to a veteran. And I think our community needs more representation of what scaling to 6, 7, 8 figures and beyond looks like, and doing that as part of a military connected life. So can you talk about when Pink Stork started, where you were in your journey as a mom building your family, and what role the military might have played in that?
Oh my gosh, yes, the military played such an important role and has such a connection to my heart and my story. And this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't even for the military and the journey that I experienced as a military spouse. So to get started, I got married and I moved to Quantico, Virginia. So for all you Marine Corps wives out there, that's where my journey began. And I got pregnant right away. And I quickly found myself lying in a hospital bed, like just not completely overwhelmed with life. I obviously struggled through the pregnancy. At one point, I was told I had 24 hours to live, all while my husband was, doing his training. So he was gone all the time training. And I just really suffered through this horrendous pregnancy. I had something called hyperemesis gravidarum, which happens to about 1% of pregnant women. And basically, I just explain it as extreme morning sickness. For the military spouses listening out there, you guys will appreciate this. But I remember I was lying in bed and the doctor came into the room. Actually, the team of doctors came into my room. And then my husband came into the room covered in mud and war paint, and they had brought him in from out in the field. I still can smell it to this day that, he had just gotten training and they brought him in from the field, and the doctor looked at me and said, "Amy, you have 24 hours left to live." And that was where I had such a peace that actually came over me. It was like one of those moments I knew it was going to be a life-changing situation. I just didn't know why or how. And I just remember it so clearly, this peace that just came over me that was actually like, no, he is wrong. There's a plan. And this is just the beginning of this plan, a beginning of your journey. So fast forward a few weeks, I was still alive, had kind of made each day was just another, another day that I was proud to be alive. And I ended up having my son, John Hamilton, prematurely, but he was a healthy baby boy. And I made it through that pregnancy. And, then a week later, we moved out to Hawaii, and 2 months later, I found myself back in the same position, pregnant again with this newborn, a husband deploying, and now I'm fighting again with this horrendous, hyperemesis that I'm dealing with. So needless to say, pregnancies were really tough on my body. I did this 4 more times, while we're moving all around the country, while my husband was deploying in the infantry, and just really defeated, emotionally drained, physically drained, spiritually drained. And when I found out I was pregnant with my 4th, I was just like, my life, I cannot live this life anymore. It is literally going to kill me. And so kind of out of that desperation and frustration is where I decided to really take a different approach with my body during my 4th pregnancy. And I'm so glad I did.
And I imagine so many other women are glad you did, because now you've expanded into this massive company that I'm sure started out with a small number of products or SKUs, and now you have more than 100. So military life, first child in 2010, several pregnancies between then and 2015. And can you talk about the creation of a women's supplements company? Did you have any background in this? Did you fund it yourself? Like, how did you manage launching a company with what I assume is 3 or 4 children at that point?
Right. So Christian, my fourth child, born in 2014, actually. And we were living in Bolling Air Force Base in DC. And so this was really where it came. I had such an amazing experience with Christian that I was like, I had those aha moments where I had no clue about business. I had no clue about what I was doing in health. Like, I just knew that God had given me this answer to help other women who are struggling with their own bodies and their own issues. And that's where I really felt called to start a company that would not only offer great products, but really come alongside women and help them through those physical, emotional, spiritual, mental challenges that we have as women when we're dealing with something, frustrating with our bodies. So PinkStork started right there in Bolling Air Force Base in 2015. And, quite a journey.
My husband and I, we were stationed at Andrews from 2013 until 21. So we overlapped there a little bit. And I mean, I can think of juggling my corporate job while my husband was in the Air Force with no children, and then having my daughter. And that's when literally everything changed for me, like mentally, priorities, spiritually, like everything shifted in that moment. And so I can certainly relate to that in how children spur this completely new identity and set of ambitions when it comes to like both providing for your family, being the mom you want to be, and also fulfilling what is really like deeply part of your purpose.
Right.
I will say for myself, like, yes, business is business, but I imagine for you, business is personal. This is much bigger than a vitamin or a gummy or this and that. Amy, can you talk a little bit about the impact that you're seeing your products have on both women who are taking your supplements, but also the women who you employ in your organization?
Yes, definitely. And for me, I always told myself, if I help just one woman feel better, like, I was done. I felt like I did what God told me to do. And so it's amazing to see all the tens of thousands of millions of women that we've been able to touch at Pink Stork. I think one of the things that I didn't even think about was the people within the Pink Stork that have also been impacted, the careers that have been, able to be made. That even, we've had women that have worked for us that have gone on to start their own companies, which to me is so exciting to see women go on and, become successful entrepreneurs themselves. So not only are we helping women, through our products and through our company, but we're also helping a lot of women professionally reach their goals of their professional careers. And a lot of that is because, I didn't know what I didn't know starting a company and a business. And what I quickly realized was how a lot of women who, want to be mothers or want to be really present in their, personal life have such an uphill battle for them. And so I just was doing what I would want done to me if I was working. So of course we have flexibility built in for moms. Of course you can bring your baby to the office. Of course you can, work from home when you need sick care. Of course, I mean, we pay women when they actually have a baby. Like, we give out baby bonuses. There's so many things that I just was like more like second nature, because yes, I'm doing what I would want done to me. And as a mom of 6, I understand those challenges that women face when you're trying to be a present mother and also be, ambitious in your professional career as well.
Well, and it's so important for women to have, for working moms to look at women like you who are taking their child to work with them, who are nursing in marketing meetings, who have their kids kind of like pitter-pattering, running on the warehouse floor. It's so meaningful for women and young moms or women who want to become moms to be able to see that is a reality that they can have in the right situation when they find someone who they can work for or alongside who empowers them to be that. Because it's we're in this tug of war between how good of a professional can I be and how good of a mom can I be, instead of focusing really on that harmony. So it's just refreshing. And I appreciate that you share that so authentically through social media and just kind of the culture that you embody as a CEO. And as a CEO, I know that you tend to focus on impact activities. And in order to get everything done that you need to get done in business and in life, you focus on what moves the needle. Can you talk about how you structure your time or your day to be able to focus on those things and what they are?
So I would say this is kind of one of the, if you're looking to juggle more than one thing, like we only have so much time in a day. We all have 24 hours. And so it's, what do you want to do with those 24 hours? And how do you want to structure those 24 hours that I have found to be most impactful for me? So I really prioritize my time. I have no problem saying the word no when it comes to my time. And there are, my kids, my family, that is precious to me, and I will never get that time back with them. And so I'm really intentional about putting guardrails around that time with my kids, because no dollar amount, no professional career is going to get in the way of that. I also do things like I structure things a little differently. So we homeschool our kids. So I'm not tied to, your typical school schedule, which is allowed for a lot of flexibility in my career when I've had to travel a lot. And I mean, I think one year I spent over 180 nights away from my house. And so I did all that with all my kids because they came with us. They went with me. That was just a deal breaker for me. And so I think it's finding those deal breakers for you and then prioritizing them and then putting the boundaries around them to enforce that authority.
I didn't realize that you homeschooled your kids, because one of my questions was going to be, what is your childcare situation? How do you manage what I assumed was that school day, but homeschooling 6 children? Are there any other like childcare support? Do you have sitters? Do you have nannies? Or do you and your husband just tag team and roll with it? Do you have family that helps?
We do have a lot of extended family. We've tried the whole nanny thing, and my oldest is 14 now. And so I feel like through each stage of life, we've done it a little differently. Like, I don't think there's a secret recipe here. Like, I would love to be like, do this, and then you'll be able to do that. I think it's really finding what works for you and your family, and then being open to change, because inevitably it's going to change. We've done school before, and that didn't work for us. It was too structured and didn't flexibility. Like, I was getting called all the time. Are your kids coming to school today? Like, maybe not. So, I think it's just being flexible. We have to be okay, I think, going against the norm. And I do think as a military spouse, like, you are used to that. You are moving all around the country. You have to be flexible. You have to be okay with the unknown. And so I think there's so much power that comes. Like, I love hiring military spouses. I just think that group of women are so special, and they have so much to offer the world. And
yeah, it is a special group of individuals who carry their life experiences into every other corner of their world. And I am right there with you. They're truly like resilient, flexible, adaptable. Before we move more into the personal side of the discussion, you and I shared before the call that your business is reaching the 10-year mark this summer, which is insane because so many businesses don't make it past that 2, 3, 4, 5 year mark. They don't make it to they don't make it to 7 figures. And you are celebrating 10 years. So I'm curious, what does the next 5, 10, 15 years of Pink Stork look like?
I feel like we're just getting started. I don't think it's like 10 years is like, yes, it's a little while, but I just feel like we're just now coming into our own, and we're just getting started. I think I've learned so much. We've grown so much as an organization. We're expanding into new categories. You're going to see a lot from us in the coming years. I think God has just blessed us immensely with a lot of opportunity, and I hope to continue to be faithful with whatever He entrusts, within the organization and myself personally.
Exactly what you just said. One of the things that I've seen reflected in your business and just how you show up is how faith plays a role in your family and in your business. Can you talk about that side of building a business based on faith?
There's another big pillar of our organization and of why, this would not even be here if God had not I don't want to say allowed me that opportunity, but yes, allowed me that opportunity to go through the pain, the suffering, the struggles. But I think what's so amazing about my story is, when I remember laying in hospital beds and being like, why is this happening to me? Why can everyone else around me seem to have it all put together and so perfect? And here I am, I can't even drink a glass of water or a sip of water. And I got that answer as to why it was. And I'm so thankful that God allowed me to get that answer in their lifetime. And that was to be able to help other women. And Pink Stork is the vehicle in which we use to help and empower other women. And so I am truly blessed and honored, and again, just excited for all the many, many, many women that we will continue to help as an organization.
Do you have people tear up when you say that? Geez, Amy.
Sorry. It's the truth. I don't know how. I feel like I've said it so many times and it still gives me goosebumps because it's not anything that I've done. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not more educated in this. I think it's just the faith of knowing that God called me to do this and gave me the opportunity to be able to impact and touch and use him to impact and touch people. Pink Stork is just a vehicle for him to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in that vein of being able to touch and impact people, can you think of a time where you received either a testimonial or a message from a consumer or someone who just uses your products and shared with you how that impacted them?
Every day I get emails, I get letters, I get notes, I get DMs. And that is the reason why I do what I do. It's because of them. It's because of the impact that they're having. And it's not like, oh, thank you for this great vitamin. It is, this saved my life or this changed my life. I was down and out. So is there one in particular that I don't think there's necessarily one that stands out. It's all the hundreds of thousands of women that have been able to be seen and heard and felt and shown God's love and compassion through our team here at Pink Stork.
What I know to be true, or at least in the past, I've seen your products in Target. I know you have them on Amazon online. Can you talk about the footprint of where your products are located currently?
We are currently at Target, Walmart, Amazon, our website, and then kind of some of your local health food stores, and also a few commissaries. So
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying
I
to
didn't
think.
know that.
The Navy bases, and I have to double check some Marine Corps bases. And I want to say, I don't know if they're in the Air Force bases or not. I'd have to double check with my team.
I have not seen that, but I do know the challenging feat that it is to get a product in a commissary or one of the exchanges. So good for you. Congrats. Amy, I'm curious if there's anything else you can share about navigating life on the home front and in business that you can share that might be really meaningful for some of the folks who are listening.
I heard a good quote one time and it just kind of stuck with me. And it was, you can have it all, just not at the same time. I don't know who says that, but that just, so I think, it's true. For everything, there is a season of life. And so be patient, be present, and know that you can have it all, just maybe not all at the same time.
That quote literally changed my life 4 or 5 years ago when I started my business. I remember Shelley Zalis of the Female Quotient. She said it because I was operating under that time of I watch me. I will have it all. I will do it all. I will be it all right now. And then I quickly realized that was, yes, you can, but it's the caveat of, but not at the same time. And so that was so reassuring for me as well. And that completely changed my mindset to be able to take a little bit of pressure off. I mean, I think women, we feel so much pressure to have it all, be everything for everyone all the time. But unless you set those boundaries to thrive, then you're going to burn yourself out.
My laundry room, you go in there and you'll see I am not prioritizing laundry today.
Are we a type A mom or a type B mom, or is there another type?
Can you be a mix of both? I guess in certain I'm a type A, and other things I'm a type B. So I'm probably a mix of both.
Mm-hmm. I relate to that as well. Amy, before we depart today, is there a place where people can follow you, find your products? Where can our viewers and listeners continue to learn more about your story and your products?
Yes, so you can check us out, like I said, at Target, at Walmart, at Amazon, on our website at Pink Stork. You can follow us at Pink Stork. You can get some behind the scenes on my social at Amy Suzanne. We love to stay connected.
Absolutely. Well, I am truly so grateful that you were willing and able to join because you were the very first guest of our guest episode series. And I like truly, I've been following for years. I know your story quite well. And again, the priorities and the mindset and the boundaries that you model are really and truly so meaningful, and they have an impact on women and men and families far and wide. So again, I'm just really, really grateful. I will be excited to continue watching where Pink Stork goes in the next couple of years. So thank you so, so much for spending the time today. And I will look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.